freshman player, the Southwest Conference Freshman Player of the Year when they had freshman teams in 1969. In 71 was a first-team All-Southwest Conference safety, but his team needed him to play running back in 72. Part of that wishbone, and Emory Ballard came in that year. And he did, and he led the team in rushing and then played about a decade with the Washington Redskins and one of their all-time great players. Joining us right now is Aggie, Brad Dusek, Aggie Hall of Famer. Brad, how you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Brad, Hunter Goodwin, congratulations, man. We're very proud of you, proud of your accomplishments. This is very deserving. How do you feel about it?
I'm just thrilled, very honored to be among these electees and honorees, and I'm looking forward to coming down there and seeing the old teammates and going over some stories and just having a real good time. This is a great honor to me, and it's not only to me, but it's to all my teammates who it takes us all to do it, and I appreciate everything that they did for it, and just knowing them, and I'm really excited about getting able to see them again. You can tell them old stories that you can't tell on the radio.
I'm telling you, and I know one thing about those old stories, Brad. They say you get taller, stronger, faster, and better as the stories go on. One thing, Brad, I want to share with you is being involved in this process as far as sitting on that election committee. One of the things that just jumped out, and I want to put this out there on air, is that you brought up the word teammates, and consistently your teammates held you in very high regard. They said you were unselfish. You were asked to play offense, you played offense. You were asked to play defense, you played defense. It wasn't about what was best for Brad Dusek. It was about what was best for Texas A&M, what was best to help my team win. And I think that, that character is what makes teams great, and that unselfishness, and it was consistently reverberated between all your teammates, and they spoke with you in great and highest regard.
Well, I tell you, that's the game. It's a team game, and I enjoyed every minute of it, and the coaches, the players, the fans, greatest fans in the whole, in the United States is right there at Aggie Land, and it was a pleasure playing there. We didn't have the greatest record, but I'm telling you, we went out every day, worked hard, came to every game, worked hard, and we never quit. And that's those teams that went through that, and we went through. And I'll tell you one story about one of our greater victories that I can remember. Can't remember details of it, but we went down to LSU, either 71, 72, not exactly sure when, and went down to the old Tigers Inn down there where you come out of the locker room and that big old African tiger sitting there growling at you.
Oh, yeah, the Bengal tiger yelling at you.
Right, yelling at you. And we go out there, and the game's almost over, and I'm sure my teammates, if I'm wrong on this, they'll let me know what the correct version is. But what I know is a gentleman by the name of Hugh McElroy, I believe, was one of our split ends. Goes on a little in route, catches a little 10, 15-yard pass, and ends up running about 80 yards. And we end up winning the game. And that was a big victory back in those days. We started. That's when they first started playing some pretty big teams. I remember we played two number one teams in the nation. Ohio State at the beginning of the season. At the end of the season, it was Texas was number one, a number 9, and a number 4. And back in those days, that was we stepped out there. But in the long run, as you can see, the Aggies are they're playing up there in the hardest conference there is, and it's. I think it's good. I think it's all good. I think, man, it's a great school, great. We had some sometime I tell you about my graduation, but I'll save that for later, though.
I'm going to try to drop by tomorrow and see you, Brad. I know they're having a pregame deal over there in the Regents area, so I'm going to try to come by and say hi to you tomorrow. And once again, congratulations. I had a great admiration for your son, Bucky. He was a walk-on. I was a walk-on, and so we kind of formed that relationship, and I hold him in great regard, and I know he's had tremendous success, which doesn't surprise me at all. He got the work ethic from you.
Well, I've got I think 4 great kids and a wonderful wife, and they've all been part of the ride, and I thank them all because I'm still here so I can get the award.
Absolutely. Brad, thank you so much for the time. We know you got to make it short, but we'll see you tomorrow, and congratulations again.
Congratulations. Very proud of you.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Outstanding. I'm sure somewhere along his speech he's going to tell the story. He was a defensive player. Gene Stallings out. Emery Ballard in. They got that wishbone, and they needed a guy to run that wishbone. And that guy was Brad Dusek, and he said, gladly, I'll do it. And he knew his future was on the defensive side of the football in the National Football League.
And Gabe, I'm not trying to send some sort of undertone message in this comment. I'm just being sincere. When you listen to guys, I don't care what age they are. I don't care if they played in the 40s. I don't care if they played in the 70s. I don't care if the 90s or last year. The ones that held their coaches in the highest regard are the ones that were pushed the hardest by that coach. By that coach that said, what you're doing is not good enough. And, I think one of the challenges of this A&M, I've heard everybody's got a theory on what's wrong with this, and is it because we're going after these 5-star divas and, they've been told their whole life. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a 5-star diva. I don't care if you're a 2-star. I don't care if you're a walk-on that was never rated like me. I think you've got to come to the table every day. You've got to have something that inspires you. And one of my favorite players ever that made me want to play college football, that I'm embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed to say it. I still have his fake hair, is the Boz. I love that guy. I was a 13-year-old kid just watching him. I can remember in my living room watching him make 22 tackles against Miami. I love that guy. I love the way he hated Texas. I love the way he talked trash. I love the way he played the game. And he talked about it in his 30 for 30, which I highly recommend you watch, about he played scared. And I've had great players admit the same thing, but they were not scared. Their motivation was not scared of the opponent. Their motivation was not being scared of the game. They were scared to fail. They were scared to be a failure. They were scared to let their teammates down. They were scared to let their fan base down. And to me, that's the kind of kids that are coachable, are those that are yearning and want to get better and coming and scratching and clawing at you every day and going, Coach, what can I do to get better? How can I take my game up a notch? What do I need to watch more film? Do I need to do more technique? Do I need to lift harder, run harder? They're constantly yearning and grasping. I feel like we got a lot of guys that say, man, I got this. I got this, dude. I'm good enough. I'm good. Let me tell you, I want to make sure that team needs to be told, every one of them, you're not good. You're not playing well. I don't care what star was given to you, and I don't care how pretty you look in your uniform. 59-0 and getting throttled at home against Ole Miss, you're not good. You're not playing good. And you should be yearning to get better.
Yeah.
You should be begging for film. You should be begging for reps. You should be going out there and working on your fundamentals and your footwork and your hands. And every day, you and you alone have got to work towards being a better player. We need some of that.
Yeah.
We need a lot of that.
Word on the street, someone came down pretty hard on them this last week, so we'll find out. We'll see what they look like. Yeah, personnel changes. We've heard of a Northgate ban on Thursday nights. I say, hell yeah to that. That's fine. I mean, whatever. Personnel changes. I mean, just letting them know that, hey, you're not as